These customers say Jason uses charm to sell home repairs but is unreachable when issues arise. Our NBC Connecticut Responds team has been investigating this for months. And consumer investigative reporter Jennifer Joas is here now to explain what's being done to stop it. Jennifer.
Yes, 6 months we've been looking into this, and the more investigating we did, the more we started to see a lot of similarities between the complaints and the companies. Then we found a homeowner in Millbury, Massachusetts, who hired Jason 2 years ago. Their police wrote in a report that they thought that she was the victim of a transnational Irish immigrant scam. And we realized there may be many more contractors and potential victims out there.
There have been groups that have come to the United States to defraud our communities for decades. Certainly most recently here over the past 4 or 5 years, there has been an increase.
That's the Homeland Security, acting special agent in charge for New England, describing what they call the traveling conmen fraud group. He says it's a type of scam where Irish and UK nationals pose as legitimate contractors but are not qualified to do the work. These are some of the people who have active arrest warrants or have been arrested over the past few years for similar scams, from Massachusetts to New York, Philadelphia, Chicago, and Oregon.
These groups can be very sophisticated. They do a very good job of giving the appearance or the illusion of legitimacy.
Jason hasn't been accused of a crime here in Connecticut, and Grimming made it clear he could not speak about Jason or any involvement he may or may not have with this group.
Good morning, lovely. How are you?
But he shared the trademarks of the traveling conmen fraud group, and we've identified several similarities to how homeowners say Jason operates.
We often see them coming door to door. We have seen them distribute flyers. They often have web pages that are very well designed.
What do you think drives them?
Greed. The bulk of the money will be used for them to live a lavish lifestyle, purchasing high expensive jewelry, then traveling back to their home countries with that jewelry.
That's what this guy's been accused of doing in Connecticut. There's warrants out for a James Anthony Sherlock accused of posing as a contractor and defrauding homeowners in Wethersfield and Ashford. The police wrote he was possibly connected to a known Irish traveling conmen group. He's accused of using checks from that Wethersfield job to pay a jeweler in Mystic for Rolex watches. And yet, when he went before a New London Superior Court judge, his case was dismissed.
I will grant his application for accelerated rehabilitation.
Sherlock was allowed to avoid a trial if he paid restitution to the jeweler.
The only other condition will be obey the law and stay out of trouble.
We tried to contact Sherlock, but his company's phone is disconnected. The homeowners are still out thousands of dollars.
Where do a lot of them learn this from?
Familial ties. This is something that has been done generation after generation. They want to seem very personable, so they may talk about their family, their history.
This is similar to what homeowners say Jason did to them.
He just seemed like a sweetheart. He would talk about God, and I'm Catholic.
He knew I had breast cancer, and he said that his mom had passed away from cancer as well. I felt like we connected, and I really felt like he cared about me.
They can kind of use that as ammunition, and they're sharing best practices on how to defraud our communities.
Special Agent Grimming says investigating these crimes can be especially challenging.
These crimes are often underreported or not reported at all. Oftentimes victims are embarrassed or don't realize until weeks or months after the work has been done that it was a fraud.
Some have been prosecuted, like Irish national John O'Brien in Rhode Island. When he pleaded guilty, he admitted to defrauding homeowners more than $1.5 million. According to this arrest warrant affidavit, Homeland Security connects him to the traveling conmen fraud group. Or John O'Rourke, who pleaded guilty and is awaiting sentencing for illegally re-entering the U.S. He has an arrest warrant out of Torrington for defrauding homeowners. According to this U.S. Department of Justice release, law enforcement looked into him as part of an operation meant to eliminate transnational criminal organizations. Grimming says in many of these cases,
these individuals will commit crimes in certain jurisdictions and then move on to other cities, other states. They seem to be isolated incidents. They're not connected oftentimes until well after the fact, if at all.
A lot of police departments we've spoken with often end up saying that it's civil.
That's not uncommon. If you have an isolated incident where a homeowner has agreed to pay an individual for work that's done, even though the work might have been unnecessary, that could be perceived as a civil matter until it's linked to other cases.
But for homeowners who hired Jason, they say that's a cop-out.
I would think that the law enforcement agencies would be that much stronger and want to capture this guy, because look at what he's doing to people. You know, the liability that he's creating and going and fixing these people's houses and doing more damage.
It's just not right to play people the way he does. You know, he takes their money and then screws up their property.
What is it going to take for this person to get arrested and get caught?
Now, Jason has not returned our calls or our emails, and at this time, he has not been charged with a crime or connected to an organized criminal group. So are any police departments or agencies actively investigating Jason? Well, you'll find out in part 3 of Charmed by a Contractor tomorrow at 5.